Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Thank you for joining us for 7 at 7 p.m. on this Tuesday, March 2nd. Good evening, I'm Jen Ah. To your top stories sponsored by Carnegie Heights. More people in Nevada are now eligible for COVID vaccinations, those within 2 more categories. Frontline community support, which includes taxi, Uber, and Lyft drivers. Frontline supply chain and logistics, which include warehouse workers, grocery store employees, truck drivers, journalists like us, and those in the transportation industry. Those in these groups are already standing in line at the Cashman Center today.
I tried at midnight to see if it on exactly the second. And again, starting from 6 this morning, and when at 8, when they showed up for the phones, I called them and they got me in.
First dose appointments are now available for these groups at the Southern Nevada Health District and its partner locations. In other top stories tonight, it looks like renaming the McCarran International Airport is going to get costly. Review-Journal's Mick Akers says he was told renaming it after former Senator Harry Reid will likely cost $5 to $7 million rather than $2 million.
Initial $2 million estimate had came in before, but that was off of decades old report. The scope has since then changed. So, got all kinds of things, changing monument signs, any kind of business cards, a tire, anything like that.
The Clark County Commission voted unanimously to change the airport's name last month. Hate crimes against Black residents in Las Vegas more than doubled in 2020. That's according to Metro Police Department's records. Review-Journal's Renee Summerhour tells us more. Renee?
Jen, according to the same data by Metro PD, of the 49 victims of hate crimes reported last year, 34 were targeted based on race, and 21 of those victims were Black. Reporter Sabrina Schnur explains the uptick.
More confidence among the Black community, more knowledge among the Black community to report these hate crimes. But another part of that is kind of the seedy underbelly of people either not knowing their rights to report a hate crime and therefore they're not reporting them, or just being fearful that enough won't be done, so they're not reporting them.
The data was provided by nearly 16,000 police departments, including North Las Vegas, Henderson, and CCSD police. For more on this story and nationwide numbers, log on to lvrj.com. Jen?
Thanks, Renee. In their time of grief, a business in the historic West Side is helping members of its community. Truman Brown started Clark County Family Services in 2016. The funeral home offers in-house payment plan options. Rio LACANLALE tells us more about how some families pay next to nothing.
When you think about that area, not everyone has reliable transportation, so being in the actual community and providing easy access and affordable access was something that he really wanted to do.
In your business news, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability. To attract visitors, Las Vegas could be looking at social media influencers. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority is looking at ways to bring back tourists this spring. Review-Journal's Richard Vallada says the marketing committee's plan is to show influencers the safety measures put in place now prior to these conventions.
They're going to be meeting next week to affirm this plan. The social media influencers are being invited so that they can get, why pay for advertising when you can get it for free?
These influencers will be expected to share their experiences at other Las Vegas attractions that are just starting to open back up. Now let's take a look at your weather, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. Today we had a nice breezy day with highs in the 70s. Looking ahead to later tonight, temps will dip down to the low 40s. Later this week, we start to warm up with highs in the 70s again, but we do want to warn you it's expected to get dusty tomorrow with winds coming in at around 20 miles per hour. Otherwise, we're looking at mostly clear skies, maybe some clouds here and there, and warm temperatures all the way through the weekend. In your health news, sponsored by 4M Dental, love your smile again. Getting your first COVID test could be as easy as taking a trip to the spa, at least for some Las Vegas tourists. A number of hotels and casinos are now offering on-site COVID testing, including the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas Revive Spa. For the full list, head over to our website.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. With the sports update, I'm Cassie Soto. Raiders fullback ALEC INGOLD recently spoke to our own Vinny Bonsignore and expressed his frustrations regarding non-stop trade talk involving his quarterback. Here's Vinny with more.
It seems like every time they turn around, they're hearing about how their quarterback is going to get replaced. And I just think it kind of reached that point where, ALEC felt like he needed to say something. What was expressed to me by ALEC was there's absolute belief and confidence that Derek Carr is fully capable of getting them to the playoffs. In his estimation, the Raiders were 3 plays away from winning 3 games that would have made them 11-5, and they would have been a playoff team at that point. And his question was, what would have been the narrative had we made those 3 plays?
Now here's the latest in sports betting. As March Madness approaches, the South Point has posted a couple of prop bets pitting groups of teams against each other in the quest to win the NCAA title. One prop asks whether a team from the Big Ten will win the championship. The field opened as a -160 favorite and has moved to -200. Another prop pits Gonzaga, Baylor, and Villanova against everyone else. The prop opened even at -110 on both sides. The trio of teams have moved to a -135 favorite, but the field is now favored at -120.
Thanks, Cassie. In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Get Healthy, Clark County. More of Broadway is coming to Vegas. New York's Soho Playhouse has plans for 4 new theater spaces, a project that's estimated to cost around $20 million. The goal is to bridge the gap between Las Vegas's existing theater companies and the touring productions at the Smith Center for the Performing Arts. And in your entertainment news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, breaking down barriers in the gaming industry. Those who love video games include those of the Latino community, of course. And leaders of LATINX in gaming are currently providing mentorship and connections they might need to get their foot in the door. For the full story, head over to lvrj.com. And that concludes our 7 at 7 p.m. newscast from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Jen Ah. You can catch us on the RJ mobile app, Roku TV, YouTube, and other streaming devices. Have a great night.
Review-Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.